Hi everyone! We are recording this super spontaneous decision of mine to start a new series with my friends where I just interview them and ask a bunch of questions, personal and personal. This is the only way. Today we're eating pat binsu, Korean dessert. It's from a really cool place called Plus 82, which is like around the corner. Tell me a little bit about your childhood. What were some of your interests, aspirations?
Eat first. Nice. I was a very girly girl, I guess, when I was young.
Really?
Yeah, I played with a lot of Barbie dolls.
Okay.
Personality is still the same. It's just
Okay.
what I look like on the outside has changed quite a lot.
A lot throughout the years.
I grew up in Malaysia and I stayed there till I was 20 before moving to France. I'm actually from a small town in Borneo called Kota Kinabalu. And then I moved to Kuala Lumpur. Then after I moved to France.
Did your parents make you go to special courses or something?
I think like any Asian family or
Yeah.
any Asian child, they have to go to a lot of extra classes. I did ballet, but
Oh my god.
I only did it for like less than 1 year. I hated it so much. The teacher just forced us to hold the bar and our skirt out for like what felt like an hour. It was probably 10 minutes, but in my head I was like, fuck this shit. And then I told my mom, I'm not taking ballet anymore. This is the kind of person I am, and
Yeah.
I'm still like that until this day.
Yeah. When was the moment, if you can remember, where you're like, oh, I'm gonna start this now?
Well, I've actually always liked photography. Like when I was 15, I had a small point-and-shoot camera that I would just take pictures of, and even in the school, people would call me like the school paparazzi because I would just be taking pictures of everything.
Amazing. You're
Yeah.
this intruder in like school
Basically,
that
yeah.
has like all the nasty pictures of everyone.
Yes.
In the end, like what made you move to France, and was it like really solid decision? Also, how were you feeling at the time about
So I came here for a month, and then I realized I liked it a lot. I enjoyed the lifestyle, I just
And
enjoyed
that
the
was
change
then?
of environment. That was 2009. By the time I arrived back to Malaysia, the moment I reached my front door, I was like, I have to leave. I have to get out of this place. Yeah.
Really?
The same day or a couple of days later, I called up my parents and I'm like, I want to move to France. So they're like, what? I was already doing photography back then and working in fashion, so I was like, it just feels natural. The lifestyle in Malaysia 10 years ago felt very unhealthy to me, with just like a lot of work or like a lot of late nights. And here it's a little bit more balanced. Now I might think differently, but
What would you say is the 3 most valued qualities for you when it comes to being an artist?
being a bit rebellious, because that means you don't follow rules. In a way, also wanting to be different or striving to be different so you don't conform.
Yeah.
Being never satisfied.
I mean, it comes along already for most of us. It's like always there, that feeling.
But also taking risks.
Like blindly, kind of.
I think one should not be afraid to say no to a client.
Really.
I mean, you have to negotiate.
Yeah.
They hire you for a reason,
Yeah.
right? They hire you for your vision. And if they want to impose certain things that is completely not what you would do, so maybe come to a compromise. You don't have to say yes to everything they want,
Okay.
because then you kind of like prostituting yourself.
Like you will also only be satisfied if the client is satisfied.
Exactly. For me, if I'm working for a client, what makes me happy is if the client is happy. I still believe in being professional, because at the end of the day, if you don't deliver what they want, your name is on the line. At the end of the day, you don't take jobs just for the money, because if we really wanted just money, we wouldn't be doing this.
That's true.
It's very important that the client is very clear from the beginning what they want from me, what they expect from me. That's why I always ask to see references first. And then if I believe it's something I can deliver, I'll take this job.
Would you say you're judgmental of your own work or more reflective of your own work?
It's a little bit of both. Depends
Right?
on my mood.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are some photos like, oh, that was not bad for someone who took photos like 10 years ago. And I still see a lot of room for improvement. And then there are some other shoots where I was like, oh my god, this is offensive, get this out of my sight.
What is your stand of mind when you're working on a new idea? Do you always create a personal mood board?
Well, actually, in the past few years, I've been working a lot with art directors. So they always come with a pretty strong concept. Because actually, to be honest, I find that I'm pretty bad at coming up with ideas. But I'm very good at elaborating on them.
Yeah.
And then based on that idea, I will decide how I want to do the light, the poses, you know, the story I want to tell.
Sometimes it can even be like you work so hard in the moment, like 10 minutes before you start shooting, you're like, actually, I want to do it completely different.
Yeah, well, there are quite a few shoots where I had to improvise quite a little bit. But I think
Why?
I
Because
always...
of the time restrictions? Or
because of the situation, like it could be the model, it
some
could be
people?
but I always try to have at least few key ideas,
Okay.
even in terms of like lighting and poses. I don't force myself to stick to it too much, but I try to like adjust myself based on that.
What was the wildest concept you've ever shot? Like, it can be wild in a good way, but also wild and it's like completely went wrong. Still, looking back at it is like having nightmares about it. I'm sure we all have had this shoot.
Okay, normally I would not be able to remember all this, but because it didn't happen so long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was actually a shoot for a Russian client, actually. So we were supposed to shoot two models inside an apartment, an Airbnb, and it was like going to be their lookbook.
Okay.
Except that they were checking in the same day. We couldn't get into the apartment.
Why?
Because the previous tenant left the keys inside. And then the landlord is not in Paris. Nobody had spare keys.
So what did you do?
So we panicked. We tried to call a locksmith to open the door. So in the end, we had to shoot in the stairwell. Before we started shooting, at one point, one of the models just decided to leave because she was like, this is a joke. So it was tough because there was so little light in the stairwell. It's one of the things. So I decided to just change the concept and play with depth of field. I didn't want to have like two girls posing together too much because it's just too cliche. Forward and backwards. I'm a photographer in the distance and you're like talking to me, so I see a bit of your shoulder and the other girl like that. So it was mainly like this, playing with depth of field. But when I have a difficult situation like that, I just try to stay silent for a couple of reasons. I don't want to stress the client out too much, and I'm also trying to think of a solution in my head, you know. And I can't talk very much when I'm thinking, so I'm just like retreating back there. You're trying to find a solution.
This is how everyone works. Like also for the client, if the photographer starts panicking, yeah, I think it's mine.
Yeah.
Thanks, mom. What it takes to make a good shoot, to a good project, what are the elements that you need?
Well, most important thing is obviously your team, because when you're shooting, you're not shooting by yourself. I get the best moments and the best results when I work with a team that just vibes very well together. Like everybody is on the same wavelength. When there are people who want to give suggestions, they kind of give the same suggestions. So it's like, that's already a good sign, you know? So,
and you also kind of gain confidence in the idea, you know, because you don't disagree a lot. Then you're like, oh, maybe it actually works.
I think as a photographer, I mean, for me anyway, I need to have confidence in what I'm shooting. I need to be able to visualize what I'm shooting as well.
What is the ideal process for you? The way you start the shoot, the way you end the shoot?
Normally, I just start to pull out the lights. So I go over the clothes with the stylist, we see what order we're gonna shoot. And then maybe sometimes some clothes, they're very restrictive, so you can't do too many poses, you know.
Because you love your poses. Yeah. You love like free weird poses and the model to really work.
Yes, so it's pretty important. Like for me, a good photo is something that is visually appealing. I don't want to just depend on using the face of the model. It
also comes down to like doing fashion photography. That it just has to be aesthetically and visually appealing. That's what you always
or
said.
off-putting, you know, it could be the complete opposite.
It doesn't need to have a specific story, but it just needs to catch the eye.
Yes.
In like good or bad way. Do you have a favorite photographer actually, or painter, or musician who influenced you in your way of working?
Well, one of the bigger photographers that I like a lot now, his name is Johnny Dufort.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's based in London, so he has this very raw aesthetic.
In what way? Like more documentary or
No, it's a fashion, but like the lighting, it's very rough.
Would you say that film photography like adds a lot to your work or helped you a lot? The way you see?
I mean, shooting film definitely has changed the way I approach photography because you're only allowed a limited number of shots. Shooting film has taught me to slow down and really think about what I want to shoot. Luckily, I'm a pretty lazy person. Like, I don't want to do more work than retouch. So I tell everybody we need to get it right before. I'm trying to maximize efficiency, you know? Don't depend on retouch.
What attitudes and values do you intend to stick in your life as a person and as a creative?
Wow. Values. I need to be more hardworking.
Really?
I'm not hardworking enough.
No, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm not hardworking
Really?
enough. Yeah. I enjoy my life too much. Working with so many people, I have learned to take other people's opinions into consideration a bit more than just thinking that what I think is right. So I was much more of a control
Every
freak.
aspect.
Control
yeah.
freak. But
Like when you have people on set, you really want everyone to be there for a reason and not be sitting down and doing nothing.
yes, they need to be present on the
Yeah,
set
and
because
active.
everybody is responsible for their own role. In any team situation, the leader must know how to delegate.
Which is you.
You give responsibility
Yeah.
to every team member so that they are in charge of something. I think this is a good quality to have across the board, not just in photography, but just life in general.
Yeah, and work harder.
Yes, need to work harder.
Okay, cheers to that. Maybe it's true, maybe we should work harder. So how do you motivate yourself to just get up and do it in
It's
the
hard.
morning?
You just have to do it. Sometimes I don't get up.
What aspects of your personality and work do you want people to look into the most?
I like to have humor in photos.
Yeah.
And I like to have humor in my daily life. I like to make people laugh as well. My aversion to perfection.
Okay. I can see that, and I can also see humor through your work. Even the recent shoot that you did, just like the video, it really shows it a lot.
And also it's like so imperfect.
Yeah, so the way she does these poses and actions is just like so funny.
Yeah. It's just to have a moving aspect to the pictures.
Yeah, of course.
Because as much as I like photography, sometimes it feels like, especially in this day and age, where everything is about videos, TikTok, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. People want movements, they want music, they want flashy, you know? And photography is like, you need to focus on it.
What would you like to tell your younger self? An advice?
Work harder, bitch.
This is the end of our interview, so...
Sometimes people ask like, how do you be realistic? What is your judge of realism, right? So I think only you would know.
The base should be you loving yourself no matter what.
Yep.
But no matter what the outcome is, and I think it's really important to be realistic,
Yeah.
especially in our industry.
Yeah.
Do you wanna like nominate a person who should do this interview maybe?
Well, we already know. We're probably thinking of the same person.
Should we say it in 1, 2, 3? Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Laura.
Okay, you're up next, Laura. I'm sorry.
you.
This is like you're obliged to do it now, so bye.
See you.
Wait, should we pick up this?